What's up, everybody? HELMETFIRE here. Look, today they put out a update for a 2024 roadmap, and we're going to go over it right now and kind of react and talk about this for a few minutes. So let's just start right from the top. Fewer releases in 2024 with a focus on polish and optimization. In 2024, we are going behind the curtain, which means we'll be doing fewer major releases like snapshots and focusing on heavy lifting required to bring Deadrop to the finish line. Here's what it looks like. And they got a few categories here. They got releases, optimization, hideout, planning for the future, visuals, quests and contracts, and console. And then they got the rest of their blog post down there. But let's go over this. So, excuse me. All right. Releases. Since founding the studio in 21 and starting codename Project Moon, we have released 7 major releases. To our early players, we referred to these as foundation and expansion years. We are now in the refinement year, which means we'll still be doing public releases, but they'll be focused on specific design, tests, and feedback sessions with our players. This is all leading to a publicly available early access release on all approved platforms. So y'all might have heard Doc and some of his recent streams talk about this, how they're going more closed doors, more traditional development. This is obviously kind of makes sense based on like the last year and a half with all these events and all the marketing and the open development. This plays right into what Rob has said many times about, open development. Doing it this way, it makes it a lot harder. So they've done all these marketing events, they've done all this stuff. Well, now they're to a point where it just is going to make more sense to buckle down, go behind closed doors, and just really focus on developing the game and what's important. All the meanwhile, they are going to try to bring some founders along for very specific builds and testing things, but generally speaking, the large snapshots are going to be put on hold for a while. There is a note to that. It has been said by Rob in recent AMAs that they are planning on doing a early access release in probably Q3 of this year, 2024. So more on that later. So the next thing here is optimization. It says, we're working directly with Epic on optimizing for Unreal Engine 5, ensuring that we can use all the bells and whistles that the engine provides while also honoring our players a diverse range of hardware. Our target is keeping players on a 1070 equivalent card running at a solid frame rate while allowing high-end machines to enjoy higher frame rates. This is really important for the PC crowd because not everybody's able to buy a $5,000 PC setup or a dual streaming PC setup or all that stuff, so they are trying to get at least 1070 quality. That is still a higher end card for certain people, but a 1070 is, more than a few years old at this point. So I really like that they're going that far back and really trying to bring in as many people on the PC side as they can. All right, so let's move on. Hideout. We introduced the hideout in early snapshots. This is the player's pre-game area that they'll squad up, display their stash, and socialize with their friends. And this new design is being finalized and will be reintroduced to support all new features of the game, vehicles, vendors, displays, etc. So again, this has been talked about at length in different AMAs and things like that, where, we have a place to go to that has a firing range where we can test all our weapons. But it's not just that. It's going to also be like a social hub where we can invite our friends and display all our cool stuff that we've, collected over the, seasons and things like that. And, a great example of that is like Warframe. If you've ever played Warframe, they have the dojos. You can set up your dojo and bring your friends in and all those kinds of things. So the hideout is going to come back. It's going to be a lot better. It's going to be more polished. There's going to be way more to do and more reasons to be there. So that's going to be great. So the next thing here says planning for the future. We are doing, let me go back. It says we are doing all the necessary under the hood work to ensure our community can create, import, and sell their own creations within the game. That means building systems in a way that can easily integrate future third-party authored content. Okay, I want to pause and pay attention to this statement really quickly. So for those who've been following along for the last year and some change, Deadrop is touted as a Web3 game. I've made videos on this specifically saying that I don't believe that it's a Web3 game yet. It has Web3 elements, kind of, because the Founders Passes NFTs are a thing. And again, I have videos on that. You can go check those out. But long story short, the verbiage here is pretty specific, but it also has some broad pieces to it. So like, I don't know, I'm not an expert on Fortnite, but what I do know is that people can create maps with, you know, Unreal Engine, Fortnite editor, you know, the map editor that they have and things like that. And I do know that people can make money some way on what they create. I, of course, admittedly will have to do more research on this, but what little bit I do know, this sounds pretty similar. So what I'm trying to say is like, it is conceivable that Midnight Society could go that kind of route rather than, you know, crypto-based way of doing it, right? Because a marketplace is a marketplace. Plenty of games have had marketplaces before, like Diablo and, you know, other games. Geez, I want to say RuneScape maybe, but don't quote me on that. I'm not an expert on that game. But they have had marketplaces and different ways that people could monetize what they're creating in various different ways. Now, if Deadrop were to go the full-blown Web3 blockchain route, that means that all your items and stuff, just like your, you know, skin packs, weapon packs, things like that, all of those would be NFTs and tradable on an NFT marketplace, kind of like OpenSea, where the variant Founders Pass NFTs are sold. But they don't have to go that way to make a marketplace where people can earn on their creations. So based on what I'm reading here, it seems like they're going to possibly have just a marketplace similar to what other games are doing right now, where if you create something, there will be an avenue to monetize that content. But this is not confirming anything specific, so we will have to stay tuned for more on that. Either way, when it comes to people making creations of their own in a game and having a pathway to monetize it, I'm all for that. It's the same idea as supporting your favorite artist or, you know, graphic designers or what have you. I just think it's a great way to not only keep the community engaged, but incentivize more creation. All right, moving forward. Visuals. It's time to take the visuals of Deadrop to the finish line. That means taking the environments, sectors, characters, weapons, and all other aspects of the game to the final art stages. This is the time-consuming and large effort that will directly conflict with the optimization of the game, which is why we will be shifting to fewer releases with targeted testing. That's some key terminology there too, right? The better and crazier the visuals go, the more they have to tweak and figure out optimization, and especially in Unreal Engine 5. It's a very asset-hungry engine from what I understand. It's very difficult to develop in, but at the same time has a big payoff if, you know, they have the time and can really get it dialed in, which is exactly what it sounds like they're doing. Now, you notice they also say we'll be shifting to fewer releases, so that means fewer snapshots with targeted testing. So the targeted testing was brought up in an AMA with Rob recently, where they will probably invite founders to test certain specific features, and if they do those kinds of testing sessions, those would probably be under NDA for whatever in time until embargo's up and what have you. But if you're a founder, this is pretty fun news to hear that we'll have an opportunity to test, you know, basically future in-game, you know, feature sets and things like that. So that's going to be fun. So quests and contracts. This is pretty, I'm excited about this one. This one says, quests and contracts are a major design system of Deadrop that will give players an opportunity to work with or for the various factions within the game and be rewarded for it. These quests and contracts will be a large part of the focused testing we will do in the future. So if you ever want to see Space Bob or anything like that, or me personally, my Jimmy V character, you know, and you know, different questline NPCs, they're gonna have ways to, you know, put those systems in so you can play and earn from these NPCs and get different rewards. And I think that's going to be really integral to the ecosystem of Deadrop and like the longevity of it. So I'm all about questing and earnables. Like earnables was a really hot topic recently. You know, Deadrop's going to be a free-to-play game and it's going to have a monetization strategy, but the more earnable quest-like things that are in the game, I think is better overall for the player base. And lastly, on the topics here, it says console. Console certification is the highest priority of the team. The console platforms rightfully have very strict requirements for releasing early access to the public. We are working to ensure we meet all of those requirements and can include all of our players in this early stage of development as soon as possible. In conclusion, We are heads down and focused on what it will take to get the game to a publicly releasable state, while also including our community as we fine-tune the gameplay and visuals of the overall experience. As we reach major milestones, we'll release specific updates. Keep an eye on the Discord for announcements on playtests and other releasing along the way. So overall, this is a really, really good roadmap. I really like what they're saying here. Obviously, there's nothing to announce today, and we're still probably going to be a ways off from anything playable that's really meaty and, you know, feature rich. But we have a lot to look forward to, and it's this year, right? They have said time and time again in recent AMAs from Robert Bowling himself that they are aiming to release a fully arted, really polished version, early access to the public, which hopefully that also means on console. Again, not confirmed, but as you see here, they said that is their highest priority for the team. You know, when it comes to console, they know everybody's been waiting and itching, and you know, if you've not had a chance to listen to any of the recent AMAs, this studio is head down, very, very passionate and serious about trying to bring these games to consoles, and they are working with their contacts and the right people as much as they humanly can to get this on the console as fast as humanly possible. And I'm really hoping that whatever this early access release is in like Q3 of this year, as they're touting, I hope it brings it with console also. I think that would be just a huge W in the whole space, and everybody could check it out, because there's a lot of people that are even founders that are NFT holders that are on console and don't have a crazy PC to run this game, that have been waiting for almost 2 years, you know, and they're going to continue to wait throughout this year for this. So, you know, but rest assured, Midnight Society is absolutely committed to, you know, making console happen, and as you see it here, it is the highest priority for the team. So that's gonna wrap it up for the video today. I know it was really fast, rapid fire and things like that, but you know, we got a bright future with this game. We're all excited about it in the community. And speaking of the community, before I go, be sure to drop into the Midnight Society Discord. The devs are always chatting it up with everybody. You can always ask questions freely in there. You can criticize freely, you know, just don't be a jerk. And everyone is just a lot of fun to get along with. It's some of the best people I've ever met, and I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of them and the developers in person. And I got to tell you, this community is the best community on the planet, bar none. Join up on the Midnight Society Discord. Come hang out, get to know us. We can't wait to see you. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. Don't forget, like and subscribe, hit the bell notifications, all the things, so you don't miss any future videos on Deadrop or any other extraction shooters. My name's HELMETFIRE, and I'll see you in the tower. Have a good one, everybody.